I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music, here today to start our new set of the week with episode 143. Today we're going to do Eminem's follow-up to his 2009 released Relapse. This album is called Recovery. If you want more history on Eminem, check out the Relapse episode. It should be right down there, right below this episode, and all of the fine...
If you're watching on www.velocitiesinmusic.com.
Absolutely. This is just his follow-up. Relapse was this fictional story about how he relapsed after, you know, going to rehab and stuff, and then became this drug-doing serial killer. And Recovery is him saying, hey, I'm back in the music, I'm back in the hip-hop business, I'm here to kick some ass, this is how I'm going to do it. And he changes his style and producer.
Yeah.
So this is it's still your typical Eminem, but you're going to get more cheesy choruses, more corporate hip-hop rap production that's out there, more synths that I don't think work with Eminem's style, more sparkles. Like, it's just like, it's Eminem in glitter.
It's like he takes everything about himself, besides his actual just top-notch rapping, and makes it commercial, basically. Everything with the beats. I mean, you know, without Dre, what do you got without Dre? Motherfuckers got about Dre. Anyways, so the rhythms and the wordplay are still top-notch in his rapping. But yeah, the beats and the other vocal parts, the singing and stuff, you're on fire.
That's one of the worst songs. And he even calls himself out in that song and says he just put a crappy, you know, chorus between two lines. Like, he calls himself out that he's doing that.
Yeah.
My opinion is, this is 17 tracks on this album, you know, my opinion is Eminem's rap parts, like, he is unarguably, I think, one of the best, if not the best, technical rapper out there today. Honestly, like, you can't beat him. I'm not going to argue about his lyrical content, that's up for you to decide, but just technical rapping skill, he's amazing. He doesn't even need choruses.
Yeah.
His songs, most of these songs on this album, there's 17 songs on this album, almost every single one of these songs would be better without a chorus.
And speaking of the lyrical content, that's one thing that really bothered me about this album. He even rips on his last album, Relapse, a lot, which I don't get because I thought Relapse was a far stronger album.
I thought Relapse was much stronger.
Now this one's still pretty good, but it's strange because he rips on himself a lot. And Relapse was only a year ago. You know, that's pretty recent. Like, if you want to rip on your really old stuff because you feel like you've grown past it, okay, but this was just a year ago. You know, I'm sure you thought it was hot stuff at the time, so why are you ripping on it, like, a matter of months later? I don't know. But really, when it comes to lyrics, the thing that bothered me was him switching between this whiny, insecure style to this really fiery and cocky classic Eminem style. And when you have those two next to each other, it just makes it unbelievable. You can't believe this album because you're thinking, well, is he cocky and full of himself and very confident? Or is he really just this kid crying in a corner? I don't know. I don't feel like he should be either. I feel like he should be in the middle somewhere and just be realistic about things, but he obviously can't be. And so that makes it kind of hard to listen to when he's switching back and forth because you don't feel like you're getting the real Eminem, Marshall Mathers. So it's also really hard to feel sorry for him when he's in those whiny, insecure phases, when he's saying, "Oh, don't make fun of me," like
Not Afraid.
Not Afraid. Not only that one, but is it Talking to Myself, when he talks about critics? Critics got nothing nice to say, man. They never ask me how my day went. Did you ever ask Michael J. Fox how his day went? Did you? Or anyone else you ever made fun of? Moby, Fred Durst, anyone? No.
That's part of his gimmick. That's part of what makes Eminem attractive.
Exactly. But, you know, and which is fine if you just stuck with that, but instead of just sticking with that, he took it a step further and proved that he can't take what he dishes out. I mean, he's made a career as a rapper jabbing people in his music, and yet if someone says one thing about it, man, it is gang war. So I don't know. Also, just when it comes down to it, this album is just way too long and there's too much that could be cut. The middle to end of the album just drags. I really like the first like 6 tracks, and then after that,
Track 9, No Love, it has Lil Wayne on it, and it's absolutely horrible. We're not gonna get into it. It's just horrible. But yeah, the album really lags in the middle, and it's 17 tracks long. What I was telling Tom right before we flipped the camera on is that this album would be so much better if you got rid of 4 or 5 tracks. It would be so much better.
It would be quality, not quantity.
Yeah, I mean,
right there.
Just having a bunch of like hit or miss songs on an album does not make the album good. In all honesty, I thought that even the lyrical content got kind of sporadic and crazy towards the end of the album. It was much more focused in the beginning. Now this album also has a lack of skits. Skits are a big part of Eminem's music in his older work and in Relapse. Relapse was full of skits, and that was part of what made this kind of quasi-insane, you know, kind of background story to the album, and it was really cool. Well, this doesn't have that. It's just 17 tracks that are just hit or miss, and the album suffers because of it. I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to come of age. He's a new guy. It's a rebirth. Great. It's not enough. I'm sorry. It's just not enough. The change in production style, I really don't think the sparkly, glittery synth life...
It just doesn't work for him.
It does not work for him. He is a raw... His parts are raw and angry, and he needs something more ethereal. He needs something more beat-driven.
And that's why I really liked track 4, Won't Back Down.
Man,
it was a little more rock and a little more fiery. And I was like, yeah, this is the Eminem that I know. But it's really like the only track on this album like that. And you know, even then the production, I mean, Dr. Dre's a producer. He makes thick beats. Everything's very separated. You know, you can pick out every aspect of the beat. Well, with this album and in modern production techniques in this style, everything seems to be like you want it to be washed together with this crappy synth pad that's just glue between the drum parts so that you can't even distinguish a single aspect of the drums. And that's all over the place here, and I just don't like it.
My favorite tracks were track 1. I'm going to pick 4. There's 17. Track 1, Cold Wind Blows. Track 2, Talking to Myself. Track 6, Going Through Changes. And then the last track, track 17, Untitled, because it's the needed Slim Shady appearance.
Yes. I'll go ahead and pick 4 tracks as well. Cold Wind Blows, track 1, great opener. Track 4, Won't Back Down. I am going to go with track 5, White Trash Party. Kind of classic. And then track 17, Untitled. It was a very great closer. Very great song in general, especially after the slew of just kind of not as good stuff.
What do you give it?
I am going to go ahead and give it a 64.
I'm going 63. I think this is solid. Needs work, though. Yep. I mean, he could really clean this up and make it a really damn good album. It's just not quite there yet.
Yep.
That kind of settles it for Recovery for Eminem. So tell us what you think. Do you like the crazy, violent, angry Eminem? Do you like this new recovered Eminem? I don't know. You tell us what you think in that comment box down there, please. That would be awesome. We'd love to hear and talk to you. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
We are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.